Hello, everybody. It is Friday. How are you? How are you? Hi, Joan. Good to see you. Sorry, I was trying to find a rag to use, but these rags are way too big, so I'm not going to do that right now. Hey, Linda. Hi, Making Crafts. Hi, Sharon. Making Crafts, I don't know that I've seen your name in the chat before. Welcome. I'm glad you joined us. Good to see you. Good to see you all. It's Friday. It is. Hey, Cindy. Linda, tell Tim I said hello. Hey, Dar. Linda, did Tim get a card from me? I sent one. I hope I sent it to the right address. I hope. Good to see you all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, Mickey. Dar, haven't seen you around for a while. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, it is Friday, and today is my birthday. Hi, Connie. He did. Okay, good. Great, great, great. And so I'm a little bit late getting started because I had a great birthday gift, and that was my granddaughter called, and so we talked for a few minutes. So that was wonderful. Hi, Rhonda. So we got to talk for a few minutes, so I was a little bit late. Anyway, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Sorry. Okay, I'll deal with that later. What was I gonna do? Oh, sidetracked. It's been a fun but crazy day. Just needed to send a quick message. We're trying to cram a lot of stuff into a 24-hour period today. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, thank you. It is also my sister's birthday, Peggy, who is usually in the chat. She is not here today because she's spending the day with her daughter, she said. And so big happy birthday wishes to her. We are 39 is exactly what it is, Dar. 39 for the 400th time. I'm 39. And yeah, so it's been a good day. It's a good day. But we're trying to get a lot of things packed into a short period of time. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining me. I'm glad to be back. Those of you that were not here on Monday, I did stream Monday night, and that was the day that we got back after we traveled many hours. We got back from a trip that we took with Elton and his family overseas. We were in Europe. We flew to, the short version is, we flew from St. Louis. We did. Part of us flew from St. Louis. Part of us flew from Las Vegas. We all met up in Venice, Italy. I'd never been that direction. Never been to Europe. I've never been east of the East Coast of the United States. And so we met up in Venice, Italy, and we were there. Our part of the family was there for 2 days. The Las Vegas group came, and they were there just for a few hours because they had trouble with their flights and stuff. Anyway, then we took a long bus ride one morning, and then they bussed us from Venice over to a town or city or whatever called Ravenna, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, that's where we got on a cruise ship. And then we went on the cruise ship for 7 days all together as a family. There were 7 of us. And we cruised. We stopped in Croatia. We stopped first in Croatia. And then we stopped in 3 places in the Greek Isles. And then we came back and we stopped in another place in Croatia. And then went back to Venice. And we spent the night. And we flew home. And so last Monday, I didn't know what time it was or what day it was for sure, because we had been traveling for many hours. And we got back on Monday, and then I streamed Monday night. Anyway, it was, so I was a little pie-eyed by then, but that's where I was, and I'm back. So anyway, and Miss Muppet survived. My dog survived. Pepper, who is the dog that collapsed a month ago or so, survived her time here. And just before we left to go to on this trip, we lost the other dog, the one that was the youngest of the 3 dogs. We did not expect to lose him. I did not talk about it before because it was so unexpected and such a it was a difficult loss. It was Elton's, one of his 2 dogs, and his name was Clarence, and he was a border collie, big border collie, beautiful big red and white border collie. And so we had no idea that we were anywhere close to losing him. But the other 2 dogs, who are ancient and more ancient, both survived and are still. They alternate from day to day. We think, well, this one's not doing well, and this one rises up and she does pretty well, and then they switch places. And regularly we have the conversation about, I'm just not sure that one's, the Muppet's going to last that much longer. I'm not really sure that Pepper Jack's going to last that much longer. And the one we did not see coming at all was Clarence. But anyway, so thank you, Joan. Thank you. Anyway, so we are now in the place of it happens, it happens, and you just never know when it's going to happen. Thank you, Rhonda. It's crazy, isn't it? You just never know. You just never know. That's why you got to love them while you have them, and love them real well while you have them, every time, every day. Yeah. Okay, so enough said about all that. Now you know where I was. I'm back. Hopefully I am back for a good long while. Hopefully. And I can't guarantee that because I live with Elton Faye. I am married to Elton Faye, and you just never know how this is going to go. And I'm going to blame it all on him. I'm going to blame it all on him. Hey, Angela, thank you so much. It was I will tell you one story about Clarence. Clarence's whole job, and he was a big border collie. I mean, he was this big, stout border collie. He had a litter mate who Elton's sister and her husband adopted when they were puppies. So they got him when they're puppies, little puppies. And she is fully half the size of Clarence. Clarence was just this big, strapping, guy. Clarence had one job in his life, one and only one, and it was to chase a frisbee. And so we had red Kong frisbees for him because anything else would get torn to smithereens. And that was the thing that he lived for. And he would bring it and flop it in your lap and whack it against your leg, and half the time the frisbee was just gross. And if you went outside and you were dressed up to go someplace, you could almost count on the fact that Clarence is going to pick up that frisbee and get dirt or whatever all over you. And then for whatever unknown reason, he would take it off sometimes and pee on it and then bring it to you and want you to throw it. And I'm like, no, Clarence, no, no, not touching that. But when the frisbee was dry, I didn't mind touching it. If it was wet, no, not a chance. But he'd bring it to you and he'd flop it in your lap or whack it against your leg or whatever, and you're supposed to, he really, really, really wanted you to throw the frisbee. Really wanted you to throw the frisbee. So I'd take it, but he wouldn't let go of it. So it was a game of tug of war, and it just, that was part of the game. He loved tug of war with the frisbee, but he loved most of all chasing it. We had red ones because we could see them. We live out in the country, and we could see them most of the time. Sometimes he'd lose it. He'd lose the frisbee, and eventually he'd remember where it was, and he'd go back and get it and bring it home. It's just, he was just a funny, funny dog. Loving, super neat dog. Hey, Dorothy. Yes, he wanted to claim his toy, and he did too. It was his. It was all his. It was all his. Yeah, so... But he lived for a frisbee, lived for the frisbee. And so when we buried him with one of his frisbees so that he'd have it forever. And yeah, it was just, it was just seemed like the thing to do. Just seemed like that. Okay, so enough of that. And I'm sorry I couldn't tell you about it earlier, but I wasn't capable of doing that. He was such a sweet boy. Sweet, sweet boy. Okay, so I'm not real sure what we're going to do today, but I bought myself a new set of watercolors. And not that I am a fantastic watercolorist, but I thought we would maybe swatch these in a minute. And I don't know, see if we can do something with them. I don't know. I think he is too, Rhonda. I do. One of the last things I took from my house, fortunately I remembered it, but one of the last things I took from my house before I got everything completely moved out, and I think I'm totally moved out, pretty sure I am, is I went back and I got, and this is going to be really hard to show you, I'll just show it to you like this. Many of you know that I did decorative painting. That was how I started painting, and it was decorative painting with oils. And so I took, for a long time, when Race was really small, it was my breakaway from being, I was a stepmother when Race was born, my stepdaughter was 13, and Race was an infant. And so my breakaway from being a mother was to take decorative painting classes. And so I did a lot of that. It was all in oils back then. It was before acrylic paint was invented for, the crafts market. Anyway, so this was one of the things that we did back then. And these were called Ikabodies. This was done in 82. Actually, this particular one my mom did. This is my mom's initials here. So I used to teach classes also. And so once after I had learned enough, then I started teaching. I always kept taking classes and then I was teaching. So my mom did these, but these were called the Ikabodies. And they're by Jasonia Jansen, was the designer of these, and I don't know what they are. They're just called Ikabodies, as I remember. I don't really know what they were. They're kind of like toad frogs or something. Anyway, I did with you guys one time. Let me see if I can find it. Give me just a second, and I'll see if I can find the page to show you. I have 3 of these journals that are just alike, and it's in one of these, but I don't know which one, so give me just a second. But we did some of these in a journal page. and did them in acrylic, but these are done with oil paints. And they're a lot of fun to do, and I thought at some point we might do something more with the Ikabodies, but we'll do them in acrylic. Acrylic is just so much easier in many ways. Oh, there's the llama that I never finished. Here we go. Okay. These are the ones that I did with you guys, and these were actually done with watercolor, I think, as opposed to acrylic paint. So this was just a journal page. Yeah, it's watercolor because I can see the salt in there. But these are also the Ikabodies, just done tinting them with watercolors, I believe. That's recorded someplace. Anyway, these are the original ones done in oil. And what these are is that they go around a doorknob. So as long as you have a round doorknob type thing, then the doorknob goes here, and these are attached above and below the door. So they're pretty fun. They're just cute. They're just silly little characters. Anyway, I got those off the door. Took them off the door, took the nails off, and put them in an Altoids tin, which we're going to do something with an Altoids tin here before long. I thought I might do it today, but you know what? I spent time talking on the phone to my granddaughter instead. Hey, Jan. Oh, I'm glad your finest frog hair. That is great. So anyway, I just thought I'd show you those because those were one of the last things I took off out of my house. And so I thought that we would take this. This is the Kuratake. I know that my accent or my pronunciation is terrible. It's this. Gonzai Tombi. Okay, very Americanized pronunciation by Kuratake Watercolors. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Lady Jan. That's very sweet of you. Okay, so I thought what we would do is we'll swatch these. Shall we? Let's just swatch them in something. I don't know what. Let's swatch them in... How about if we swatch them on a piece of watercolor paper? That would be a great idea. Let me get that. Come right back. Here we go. All right, watercolor pad. This is Artist Loft, which is the Michaels brand. This is only 90 pounds. Illicit bean juice. Gotta love Jan's wonderful way of keeping me all topped up with all kinds of great stuff. Bean juice, which is coffee. In case you didn't know, it's coffee. And luggage tags for traveling purposes. Okay. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna start up here. I know nothing about these other than watching people use them. I know zero nada about these watercolors. So I'm just making a puddle of this, and this color is red. And there you go, it's red. And so we're gonna swatch these like this. Now, some people swatch colors like this with intention. And by that I mean that they're making specific shapes. And I'm not. I'm just swatching them. And I am trying to get lighter and lighter as I go across the page. So that's what I'm trying. Hey, Shu, thank you so much. Hi, Catherine. You just did your 5th watercolor lesson? Good for you. That is wonderful. Okay, so that's red. So let's go to the next one, which is Rose Madder. I have not even, I mean, these are virgin watercolors, folks. I've done nothing with these. I have not gotten them wet. I haven't done a thing. So I'm just trying to get some water on them. And then I'm just going to, that's going to be a pretty color. I'm just putting some in this tray over here. It's a dish. Look at me being fancy. I'm putting it in my watercolor tray. No, it's a dish. Okay, and so let's come down here. And there's going to be places on this where I'm probably have to use another sheet. But there are places like right there where I splattered on it, and we're going to go, oh, oops, oh well, right? Oops, oh well. I was watching, I don't know if it was Ray Missigman or who it was, who had, might have been, I don't know, somebody I saw on YouTube recently. And I think it was, maybe it was Ray, and she liked to swatch watercolors. I think it was, no, it was acrylic paint. She liked to swatch acrylic paint on deli paper. It might not have been Ray. I don't know who it was. Maybe one of you guys know. Anyway, and then she would do just like this, but she was doing it with acrylic paints and just swatch the colors out. And then she had things to tear up for collage. Might not have been Ray. I don't know. Anybody? Does that ring a bell with anybody? Anyway. Yeah, I think these are more like a closer to a gouache, if I remember right, but you know, I could be wrong. But they're such pretty colors. I thought, we'll try them. Anyway, that color is Rose Madder Deep. Rose Madder Deep. Yeah, whoever it was, and maybe swatching is not the right word. You know, maybe what she was doing was more of just painting shapes, whoever it was. Okay, this color is Cadmium Scarlet. It's kind of like cad red. Very orangey red. Beautiful color. But I think it's good when if you do something, it doesn't have to be like this, but if you do something like James Luke Burke used to do his swatching with what he called swatch dolls, and so he would try a new set of watercolors or a new set of paints, and instead of painting shapes like this or squares or, you know, rectangles or circles or whatever, he would paint dolls with them, little, you know, girl figures. And I thought that was a great idea as well. Anyway, so that color wasn't quick enough and I lost my chat. Hold on 1 minute. There we go. Hey, Dana. Hey, Barbara Clark. Okay, so I was looking at the chat. Yeah, I don't know what I was saying. I don't remember. Okay, let us, I know I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to. I'm just going to clean this off. probably shouldn't do that and waste the paint, but you know, it's my paint. I can waste it if I want to, right? If I had a bigger piece, if I had a bigger plate or a bigger something, then I wouldn't have to clean the paints out of the dish. Alright, so the next color is going to be cadmium yellow. That's this. To me that looks like a cad yellow medium, and we may get some contamination because the water is going to get contaminated from my paints. And you know what? I'm okay with that. It'll be close enough. It'll be close enough. So I think I told you guys, or some of you, maybe last Monday night, that my little grandson, great-grandson, he was a year old in June, and he had to have an operation on his eyes, and that we got the word while we were on our trip. The great-grandmother, was very concerned because I didn't get to go and be with them. That just was hard. That was hard. That hurt my heart. Hurt my heart that I wasn't able to go be with them. But he came through the surgery just fine. His eyes are doing well. They said it would take 8 weeks or so for his eyes to settle. Or I don't know. That's probably not the right word. Probably not the right terminology, but anyway. Okay, so that is cadmium yellow. This one is lemon yellow. So warm yellow and a cool yellow. And then I'm splattering some of it across the aisle into some of the other colors, but oh, and got a little bonus cat hair or dog hair in it. So tonight, so when I was talking to my granddaughter today, part of that was catching up about how the little guy's eyes are doing, and the 3.5, almost 4 years old. She's over 3.5. She won't be 4 till October. Big sister she was having a moment. But then that's not unusual. At 3.5 years, it's not unusual that you would be having a moment when you're 3.5, almost 4. She is dramatic. Little Miss is just so dramatic. It's really funny how dramatic that little girl is. I mean, everything is drama. Everything. I just can't wait to see what she's like when she's a teenager. I can't wait to see this one. Oh, she's dramatic. Miss Drama Queen. Yes, she is. Miss Drama Queen. Okay, this color's yellow ochre. Yellow ochre. These are quite nice. And I'm not doing a good job swatching. They're pooling in various places and leaving whatever you call that, you know, when they leave a nice extra little puddle there. I'm not a watercolor person, you guys, so my my expertise and my knowledge is limited. But I seem to have followed the compulsion that many of the rest of you have, and that's called buying them. Because you can't ever have too many, right? You still have a moment. Oh. We all still have a moment, don't we? If you don't have a moment, I think you're not alive. Okay, so you know, I'm gonna skip down here because these are all the reds we did and the yellows. I'm gonna skip down to this burnt sienna. I'm gonna put that down here. just because I I don't have to have a reason. I'm just because I think it belongs. Because I think it belongs. That's why. Okay. So this is burnt sienna. This is one of my favorite flesh tones. I do love me a good burnt sienna. Bloom, isn't that what they call that when it blooms? Long time ago, I took a watercolor class online, and it was back when live things were just really starting, and this was years and years ago, and you couldn't watch the recording, and you know, you had to be there live and all that stuff. It's like, whew. Anyway, there was a lot of pressure in that class. I did some of it. I still have the things I did from that class somewhere. Okay, and then I'm going to do the raw Umber Deep for my last row down here, just because. Yeah, just because. These do wet nicely. So do any of you have these sets? The set of colors? Bloom is when you have too much water. Okay. Or in my case, it's when you don't know what you're doing. You know, the honest truth of why I bought this particular set of watercolors, I'll tell you here in a second. I bet you'll know. As soon as I show it to you, you'll know why. I'm purposely trying to lighten the color here. That might be a little too light, but oop, got it right up into that burnt sienna up there, which fortunately was dry enough that it didn't bleed up into it. So anyway, okay, so there's that sheet. That's not bad. So that is a sheet of swatches of those colors so far. So this color was red, this one was rose madder, this was rose madder deep, this was cadmium scarlet. I don't think I told you that. Looks like a cad red to me, but cadmium scarlet it's called, or cadmium vermilion it says on there. This one is cadmium yellow, this one's lemon yellow, this is yellow ochre, this was burnt sienna, and this was raw umber deep. Okay, so that's what we have there. Thank you, Dorothy. Jinx can't type today. Okay, the reason I bought this set, okay, let me tell you. You know why I bought this set? This particular set? Hey, Terry. Because of that color right there. That one right there. Malachite. I like that color. That's why I bought this set. I know, right? How fickle can you get? All right, let's just trying to make some room. I did have this desk completely cleared off earlier this week, but I'm just going to bend this just a little bit and put it over here out of the way. Let's get another piece of paper. Let's swatch some more. And then, I don't know, maybe we'll do something in these little squares. You think we could? Okay. 90-pound paper is what I'm using. Watercolor, cheap watercolor paper from Michaels. Okay, let's go to the next one. I'm going to get rid of all these colors in my little dish. I know, if that hurts your heart, don't look. Turn away, turn away. Not saying that this is going to be accurate swatching, by the way. Not claiming to have accurate swatching. Oh, that's all right. I get called all kinds of things. Earlier today, somebody typed a message to me, and the message was to BATB. You know, I'm used to it, believe me. My own mother-in-law, back, Clausman's mother, years ago sent me, okay, this was, she wrote this out by hand in cursive, and she spelled my name B-R-A-B. Now that was a new one for me, because I was surprised at that. You know, it doesn't surprise me with computer or texting or anything, but, you know, longhand, it kind of surprised me. B-R-A-B. Yep. Okay, so back to the paper. All right, I stopped swatching up here. So we're going to go to olive green. So let's put some olive green on here. This will give that other paper some time to dry. We'll see what happens. I don't know. We may go back to I have several things out here that we could do. Because, you know, I don't have my sea legs back under me. My legs, not sea legs, but my legs, from having been gone. We had a great trip. Our group was ages almost 15. She will be 15 in a week. 15 to 77. That was pretty good. And everybody came back speaking to everybody else. And hugs all around. And yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, that's olive green that I just swatched. Next one is Sap Green Light. That's this one. I'm glad to have these broken in a little bit, to tell you the truth, because it's so easy to be too precious with your stuff, and then you get so precious with your supplies that you don't want to mess them up. Yeah, well, mess them up and use them. Isn't it better to mess them up and use them than not to use them? How many times have I used acrylic paints that I've bought that I'm not gonna, they cost money, and so I'm gonna be real careful with them, and the next thing you know, they're dried up in the bottles, dried up in the jars, you know. Yeah. I'm gonna be banned from the GT Paint Club. Oh, these, you broke them into pieces and glued them into dentine packs, so you had a traveler's set. Oh my goodness, you are going to be banned for life, probably. Okay, that color was this one. We're going to do this one next. So do you like, do you like that that's what you did? Was that a good decision? So I'm assuming you're happy with that decision to do that, Miss Lady Jan. How is Sydney doing, by the way? How's Mr. Bear and Sydney doing? This is Sap Green. That's Sap Green Light. This is Sap Green here. These are similar. Not the same, but similar. So tonight we're going to the county fair. But before that, we're going to go see a friend of ours who also happens to be the doctor who delivered my son. We go to church with him and his wife, and we talked to them earlier today, and I made him, his birthday was, I think, yesterday or the day before, and he turned, I don't know what he turned, but anyway, I made him a Blackberry Cobbler, so I did that earlier today. So I'm going to take that. And it turned out, I hope it tastes good. Oh, gosh. You know, I hope it tastes good. Do you ever, when you don't bake a whole lot, like I haven't baked in quite a while, I'm going to tell you something. You get rusty. You get real rusty at that baking thing. Anyway, so we got to go over to their house to drop off the birthday Blackberry Cobbler, and I think we're gonna catch a bite to eat, And then we're going to go to the county fair. Okay, so these are pretty. These are pretty. Time changes just, I'm telling. On the cruise, what did we do? We lost an hour when we were going from one island to another in Greece. And so we lost an hour, and then I don't know, we turned around and we headed back and we gained it back after a couple days, and then when you fly back from that part of the world back to the United States, and what did we do? We gained a bunch of time coming back because we left at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we flew for a lot of hours. This color is Sap Green Deep. We flew for a lot of hours and landed in St. Louis at the airport at 1:30 in the afternoon. And there isn't any way that you can fly from Venice, Italy. No. Yeah, Venice, Italy. You cannot fly from there from 6 o'clock in the morning and land at St. Louis, Missouri at 1:30 in the afternoon. You just can't do it. Yeah, by the time we got back, I'm like, I don't know what time this is, but I think I'm tired. Fortunately, we slept on the plane a little bit. Okay, so olive green, sap green light, sap green. There is more difference between these two than it looks like on this sheet. Hooker's green, sap green deep. So those are the colors there. Next color is Vidian. I like Vidian. This is going to be pretty. One of the things we did on this trip is when we were in Venice, we were taken by boat to the island of Burano, Burano. And I may have told you this on Monday night, and if I did, I'm sorry. I don't remember whether I did or not. But we went to Burano, which is an island, and it's where they have the glass factory, and they make glass. I think there was one way to say it. It wasn't Murano glass. I think it was glass in the Murano style is what he said. The tour guide that we had. Anyway, it was fascinating to watch. These are the kinds of glass artists. If any of you are familiar with Dale Chihuly, I don't know if he was heavily influenced by that kind of glass making. I really don't know, but I've seen like documentaries and stuff about Dale Chihuly, and just because I want to, Dorothy. Just because I want to. I want to see what it is like after it goes lighter and lighter and lighter. It's just because I want to. And but it's that kind of glass work, where you gather the glass on the pipe and then you do the thing and you blow it and you gather more glass and all that kind of stuff. And lots of intricacies in the glass, lots of intricate design work and so forth. The interesting, cool part about this, they had these amazing chandeliers that were hung up, for display. I mean, some of them were thousands and thousands of dollars. But the neat part about them is that they were all done in pieces. So if something broke, you had a chance of getting another piece that could be replaced. Yeah, it was pretty cool. 5 years old. Wow, that's cool. Okay, so we did Vidian on, that was the last color we did. And that was this one. So the next one is Turquoise Green Deep. So we're going to do that one next. Turquoise Green Deep. Yeah, that's going to be a pretty one. And so we got to watch how they work. And they had, in that particular factory setting where you could watch them, there were like 3 furnaces going, and so these guys were just seamlessly working. I mean, one of them was an expert in one part of the glass production, and the next guy was the expert in the next part of it, and then there was finally the last guy that did like the whatever the final touches were, I don't know. And then they had another guy who was over in a different section. He was doing like the lamp work, you know, where it's the very fine, you know, up close and personal with the torch instead of the glory hole type thing. It was fascinating. It was fascinating to watch them just seamlessly work in and out. I mean, they worked without talking. And so you'd have one guy that was doing the pipe and the other one that's, you know, handing him the tools and all that. And then the next thing you know, they're switched and they're doing different. It was really cool. It was really cool to watch that. I was fascinated with the whole thing. And then Elton said to the tour guide that was taking us through the factory, and he was very good. He was very good at what he did. And Elton says to him, he said, you know, she's an artist. And I'm like, Elton, really? You know, zip. Well, his comment then got the tour guide to say, come with me, I want to show you some other things. And so the cool part about that was that we got to go behind the scenes into some gallery area that I guess not everybody goes into, you know, where they have collaborations with various artists and things. And so we got to go kind of behind the scenes, and that was amazing. So we got to see some of the collaborative pieces of art that were just phenomenal. It was really amazing. And some of the pieces were just massive, and some of the pieces were really finely crafted, you know, like small pieces. They had a number of pieces. A lot of it, you know, there were practical things like bowls and glasses and vases and things like that. And then there were the art pieces that were the, you know, people. And they reminded me a lot of the Cirque du Soleil type characters and how they could capture the poses of the various characters. I don't know. It was phenomenal. It was really phenomenal. It was phenomenal. Okay, so that is the color I bought this whole set of watercolors for. That one right there, Malachite. Beauty-muss. It was really neat. The glass blowing was just, it was amazing. It was truly amazing. I could have stood there and watched that. I could have stayed in that factory setting and watched them work. And and you couldn't take pictures, of course, but I could have stayed there and I could have watched them for hours. I didn't do that, but I could have. Okay, this color is Ultramarine Pale. Ultramarine Pale. What a pretty color that is. It's like a sky. That's one of my favorite sky colors. This and apricot, or apricot if you wish, at sunset. Ugh, the apricot clouds at sunset. I'm going to skip a space here for a minute because I got a little zealous with my little swatchy thing. I'll come back here to that space in just a minute. It's kind of nice to see how these dry out when they're really, you know, mostly water. All right. I'm going to put just a little bit more here. This will probably run all over the place, but, you know, we don't really care, right? Okay. Not too bad. Oh, those are pretty. Oh my goodness. If you don't like that, there's something wrong with you. Sorry, but there just is. You just gotta like that. Okay, so how many more do we have to do? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then black and white. So there's really only 4 left to do. Let me just set this out of the way and get another piece of paper, and we'll swatch the last ones. Last night I was asleep, I think, but I was having a dream because I was thinking about, I still have some things to give away that I found when I was cleaning stuff out. I think I have 2 more journals, and I also have, when I was packing and moving, I found that I had a piercing cradle, which is for bookbinding, and I have used mine many times, but Clausman made a couple of extra ones when he made the one I have, and so I found the one of the ones. It's the only one I have left to give away, and so stay tuned for news when I go to do another. Oops, didn't mean to do that. That's what happens when you don't pay attention. See, the colors are migrating. We'll stay clear over here. Anyway, so I have a piercing cradle to give away. And I don't know when I'm going to do that. When I do the next book project is when I'll do it. So keep checking in. I'm not doing that just to make you come back. I just really don't know when I'm going to do the next bookbinding kind of thing. But hopefully it won't be too long. And that will be one of Clausman's contributions to the stream. He's still given to us, which is nice. So I have that. Okay, let's go to the next one, which is Turquoise Blue. So we did Turquoise Green Deep. I don't know if I told you that, but that was one we did. Now this is Turquoise Blue. That's what this one is. Oh, I can tell you I'm going to like this color. Oh, yes. That is a gorgeous color. Okay, this one up here is the Turquoise Green Deep, and this is Turquoise Blue. You just gotta love those colors. Hi, Dana. Good to see you. We have 2 Danas in the house today. Okay, so here we go. So we don't have too much more to do on these. And the first sheet I did with the reds and yellows and a couple of browns, that seems to be pretty dry. Let's see what we can do with that. I just mostly wanted to see how these acted, and then we'll see what we can do from there. Okay. Okay, so that's that. The next color is indigo. All right. Somehow I lost my streaming window. Hopefully you guys are still here. Well, it looks like you're still here. That's good. My computer that I use to monitor just decided it was going to quit the window. Okay. Yeah, let me show you the piercing cradle. I'll show it to you. So to give away, I still have this journal. There's 2 journals in here. There's 1, 2, and this is a piercing cradle. Okay, that's what this is, a piercing cradle. And so you put your folded signatures in here. You scoot them up against the end. This keeps all your pages nicely, there's a word for it, they're nicely put together at the top of the signature. I do that, and then I'll straighten up the bottom if I need to. And then you have a crack in here, and that allows whatever you're piercing with to go straight through and poke the holes, and the needle, whatever you have, has room. It has, I don't know, a couple inches of room, so it doesn't poke your desk or whatever. And it's really, I think it's a really nice, I really love mine, honestly, and I have used it for several years. So hopefully you guys will, whoever wins it, hopefully you'll enjoy it. And the thing about stuff like that is, if you don't make books or you're not interested in it, there's no reason for you to feel compelled to enter the drawing, but you can if you want. Seeing your question about question above. Oh, 2 questions. Would you go back, and did you get any souvenirs? I would go back. I would enjoy going at a cooler time of year. It was really nice and toasty there, but I think they're, from what some people said, this color, by the way, is indigo. I think they're having, if I understood it right, kind of an unseasonably warm time of year. One of our viewers here is Chrissa, and I would really love it sometimes if she shows up in the chat. I would love to ask her if it really is unseasonably warm, or if I'm just a pansy, which is possible. It's possible, because we live with air conditioning here, and not everybody does that around the world, for sure. But boy, there were some days where it was hot. Whew. There were some toasty, very toasty days. Hi, Alicia. Good to see you. Okay, so that's all the blues. Now we have cobalt violet. So we're going to do cobalt violet. That's this one. The other, so we did buy a piece of art in the Murano glass blowing factory. It was one of the art pieces, and it's a fish, and it is beautiful. And so that is, it's not huge, but it was too big to bring back like in a suitcase type thing. So they're shipping that back. So it'll probably be, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks or something before we get that. It will arrive, and it is beautiful. It really is beautiful. And then what I want to get, I need to order a base probably just get it from Amazon, a base that has a light in it that will shine up through the glass and illuminate it. So we bought that, and then the other thing that I bought, I actually could show you. If you want to see it, I will go get it. While we were also in the same, it was on Burano also, there was a lace place where they made Venetian lace by hand. And I mean, this one lady, I mean, you never know how much of it they're going, oh, these stupid tourists, they'll believe anything. You know, there could be some of that. This color is black, by the way. There could be some of that going on, but I don't know. But this lady was sitting in this store, and everything is kind of small-ish, you know, but it was very geared for tourism, of course. And this lady did not speak English, but she was sitting in the middle of on the floor, like on the showroom floor, and she was embroidering this beautiful piece of, I would call it an applique. They called it lace. I would call it an applique. It was like a scene of buildings, and the very colorful, very, very colorful buildings, which I wouldn't think of that when I was thinking of Venetian lace, but that was quite interesting to me to see how she worked. I mean, and they said, the lady that was talking to us about her said that she was the youngest of their lace makers. They don't have people that apparently are carrying on, according to what this woman said. They don't have people that are coming up and carrying on this tradition of lace making. And this was the youngest of their lace makers. She said they had, I don't know, 4 or 5 people that were still doing it. And she was 85 or 87 or something like that, you know. Okay, I'm going to swatch the white, and I probably have crud in my brush, like leftover paint and stuff, and that's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to swatch it just because I want to mess up this container of paint, for one thing. Okay. But it was very interesting to watch. So anyway, then we went upstairs and we saw, so this is gonna swatch out as gray because I just swatched black, but you know, I don't care. If it has a little bit of color in it, so much the better, because then I'll be able to see where it is. Okay? All right. So I did buy a piece of lace from there that's supposedly handmade, and you know, whether it is or whether it isn't, it looks like it is, and it's beautiful, and I was okay with that. So those were the 2 things that we bought. Both of those we bought on the island of Burano, B-U-R-A-N-O, and other than that, the only other things that I bought, or we bought some postcards and a set of coasters, like to put your glass on, and I think that was about it. Because quite frankly, I have spent the last 10.5 to 11 months of getting rid of stuff and throwing things away in 2 houses, and I have zero interest in bringing home trinkets and treasures to add to a house that we have combined houses and combined lives, and I'm like, I so do not want to have to go through this, throw it all away again. So it totally changed my perspective on collecting. I did take lots of pictures. One of my very, very, very favorite things that I would go back to in a heartbeat. And I enjoyed all of it. I enjoyed all of the, I mean, there were so many things that we saw that were older, like a fountain or a doorway could be older than my entire country that I live in. You know, it was just the ancientness of things was like it was just kind of breathtaking. It would just make you go, holy mackerel, this is incredible to see this, you know? The architecture, the patterns, the colors of things in Venice in particular was just, you'd have all these tall buildings, tall structures, narrow alleyways in many of the places. But like there would be a building that had 4 or 5 floors, and old buildings, and all of the windows had shutters on them, and they would, you know, shut the shutters, I guess, keep the sun out, or if there was rain or whatever, I don't know. Anyway, so some of the shutters were open, some were closed. But it was so interesting on this one particular building because all the shutters were blue, but each floor had a different color of blue shutters, and there were like 4 or 5 windows, you know, and lined up, stacked up on the different floors. To me, that was just fascinating. And taking a picture of that and standing there and just looking at it, you know, like so, was a souvenir in itself. So, Dorothy gave a lecture there many years ago and in Vienna. Oh, that's neat, Dorothy. I did take a ton of pictures. I did lots and lots and lots of pictures. So do you guys want to see the lace? If you do, I'll go get it. Yeah, glass does not travel in a suitcase. It does not. It does not. Sure? Okay. All right. Hold on a minute. Let me kind of get rid of a couple of things here. And I'll go get it and you can look at it. Those of you interested in lace will find it interesting to see this, and those of you not interested in lace can go get a cup of coffee or a glass of tea or something. Okay, let me stick this over here out of the way. So I have 3 sheets of paper with swatches on it waiting, and this one, that's the red, yellow, we went this way, the reds and yellows and browns. This one is dry, so I think we should swatch something on that. All right, let me go get the lace. Okay, I'm going to put something on my table. So this blanket that I'm going to have on the table is not going to do the lace any favors when you look at it, but I really want to kind of protect this lace. I paid enough for it that I want to protect it. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Okay, so what this is a table runner. So I got it to put on our dining table, and this is the right side of it, and it is supposedly all hand done, and I think, judging from looking at it, there is definitely a hand quality to it. The work of the hand shows, and I think it is. This is not done with the real fine threads that, like the lady doing the embroidery. Trying to get this where you can see it. I don't have the other camera on, so I can't show you from the other angle. But this is done with a thicker thread, and I think, as I recall, this one was all linen threads and linen fabric, I believe. So there's that. So drawn thread work, and then these edgings that were done and put on. It needs to be pressed with an iron, which I have not done. I took it out of the suitcase and plopped it on the table. But even just looking at the patterns, just like of this one flower, just looking at the patterns in that flower, I think is inspiring and beautiful and amazing. And yeah, it's just, even the backside of it. The backside, you can see, you know, where the threads travel. You can see the traveling threads back here, and you can see the knots and that kind of thing. But even that is not obnoxious. I mean, I had to really look at it when I took it out of the bag to see which was the right side and which was the wrong side. But this goes on a chair or on a table that seats 6 people. That's the length. It has a little, I don't think that came from today. I think that was part of the linen. Anyway, so that was the thing that I bought. That I bought myself. Yeah. So you can see this. I'll hold it up so you kind of get an idea of the length of it. So I got it to just go down the center of the table. So it is beautiful. It really is. It's a beautiful piece. The lace, the workmanship on it, I think is pretty incredible. So those were the 2 things. And the postcards that we bought, I think we bought like, I don't know, 10 postcards. Most of those were artists' watercolors. And Monday night I will dig those out and show those to you Monday night. And if I forget, somebody remind me, because they're really quite lovely also. Okay, so let's go back to this. And this one right here. Oh no, it's dry. Okay, this piece is dry. Let's play around with this, shall we? Let me get a pen. Sorry if my head is in your way. Okay, I just got some pens. Yeah, for me, and you can frame postcards, which is a cool thing to do too, you know? Frame the postcards. All right, let's see what these do. This pen is a Uniball Vision Elite roller pen. It is micro 0.5 millimeter tip. And, okay, let's see what happens. Shall we? I don't know what I want to do. Let's just go down one strip of colors and let's just do some pattern stuff. Just because. All right, so you know, when I don't know what else to do, I will do big loopy flowers. Just because. So let's just do a whole row of big loopy flowers. And some of them might be nice and some of them might not be nice. And trying to be a little bit more intentional than I am most of the time with big loopy flowers. Most of the time with big old loopy flowers, I just, you know. And even if I'm being intentional, that doesn't mean that they're going to turn out to be necessarily all that great or centered. Okay, so there we have that. Let's let me zoom in a little bit. What time is it? 2:19. I'm only going to be here today until until about 10 more minutes. Okay, so we got loopy flowers. All right, what else should we do? How about a leaf? Yeah, let's just do a leaf. And well, I'm not good at going the opposite direction, but let's give it a whirl. And so let's just try alternating. So just doing some doodling. Because we can. Okay, so we've just got a row of just kind of sketchy leaves. And often these look better, I think, if they are not a single line. I'm not going to really go, we'll do a couple, you know, where I like them more myself. I'm kind of trying to avoid what I did by trying to keep my hand out of it, because I don't know if this ink dries immediately or not. But I think they look better if they are not a single line. I think they look better with actually a sketchy line. And even on the loopy flowers, same thing. I think they look better. Let's just turn it around this way and just see. I think they have a more artistic look, personally. If you're not, it doesn't look so, it doesn't have that kind of tight, constrained look if you have more than one line. I wasn't going to do this, but now I am. Because it feels good. Okay. Now, if you don't like sketchy look, that's not going to be your thing. You know, it's not going to be your thing, so it's okay. Okay, let's do the next row. What should we do? Somebody give me an idea for the next row. Let's see if we can fill this in the next 8 minutes. What else can we do? We could do, I'm just looking at what's around here. I just want to do a design. I'm trying to think. My brain is not thinking very well right now. I'm just looking. What shall we do? A spiral. Okay, that's a good idea. Okay, let's start. Okay, let's just see what happens. Okay, let's start from the middle. All right, let's do it again. Not my best work, but you know, it's okay. This might be one that might be better left as a single line like that, as opposed to going back with the sketchiness of it. But since I started it the other way, we're gonna go ahead and do the sketchy look. The thing about doodling is you do your best not to get hung up in exactly how it looks. You can always come back. Let's see, let me see if I can have here's an 08. And give yourself kind of a focal point somewhere. Just by, give yourself what kind of a starting point or whatever. Okay, what else shall we do? Sketchy stars. By Rhonda or Joan Barr. Oh, thank you, Rhonda. Thank you. Hey, Kathy, good to see you. Okay, sketchy stars. All right, let's do. Okay, that's my best sketchy star. We can also, okay, we can do this way. We can go this way. Okay. Do I like that star? Then let's alternate with this kind of star. So we'll do a couple of different kinds of stars. And then all of a sudden I can't draw a star. Do you ever have that? It's like one day, what was it? Dee Dee Willingham was trying to draw, she was trying to draw a spider web one time. Yeah, and she couldn't draw a spider web. That was years ago. She couldn't draw a spider web. That was funny to think about. Dee Dee forgot how to draw a spider web that one day. It was like, that is too funny. Okay, let's go. Whoops, see, I told you. That's okay. Make it sketchy and it doesn't matter. When you're doing something like a sketchy star like that, you can't stop and think about it. That's what's getting me, is I'm thinking. And here's a 4-pointed star because I forgot to put the 5th point on. And no one cares. Okay, what's the next one? Bye, Joan. Good to see you. What else shall we do? How about, let's do some silly faces. Okay, let's do some more. I'm trying not to do the same thing over and over. It's not so easy to not to do the same expression again and again and again. Okay, so we got a row of silly little line faces. Fish. A fish. I don't know about fish. I'm not sure I can do a decent fish. Let's see. Okay, let's do fish. I'm gonna have to wait on. I don't think I can do a fish. How about if we do this? How about if we do okay, now I can tell I'm getting tighter. So I'm going to have to go in and mess this up a little bit because I'm getting tight. I'm caring too much about how they look. So I need to loosen up, girl, loosen up. All right, let me get a. I'm going to get a piece of paper to put on my hand down on so I don't. So I don't smear things too much. I'm using light pressure with the pen. One of the reasons this turned out darker over here is because I was pushing harder with the pen. So don't need to do that. All right, let's try this one. Maybe this is dry. We'll find out. Using the paper is kind of a pain, so. All I want to do is have that loose, sketchy kind of feel. Easy to say, challenging to do. There's Chrissa. Hi, Chrissa. Oh, I'm so sorry. Big hugs to you, Chrissa. Big hugs to you. We were in Greece 2 weeks ago. We were in Greece, so we were I wanted to ask you, Krissa, is it always as hot there this time of year as it is right now? There were some real hot places. There's some real hot places. I'm sorry that you lost your mom. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you came to spend some time here, Krissa. Okay, so let's see if we can finish this. I need one more idea for the last row. I know. Catherine said fish. I'm not sure I have fish skills at the moment. Not sure I got. Balloon on a string. I might be able to do that one. I might be able to do that one. Okay. So that one, that all of a sudden they went from 5 leaves to 3 leaves. And if anybody's counting, well, forget about it. Okay, forget about counting. Okay. So we want to do a balloon on a string, huh? Okay. All right. Balloon. Let's do a balloon heading this direction. Okay. A balloon. Okay. We'll get, it's a suggestion of a balloon. It's hot and sunny in the summer. Yeah, we went to, we started out in Venice. Okay, we'll see if I can talk and do this at the same, no, rounded top. Okay, little hoop-de-doo and a string. We started out in Venice, and then we got on a ship and we cruised. We stopped in Dubrovnik, Croatia to start with. Okay. And then we went to Athens. And then we went, these may look more like sperm than balloons, so I apologize for that. I didn't say that I was good at this. We'll put a little highlight in here so maybe we can distract from other things. Okay. Yeah, we'll put just a little highlight in here. Then we went to Athens. It was exceedingly hot in Athens the day we were there. And then we went to Santorini, and we went to, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, Fira, F-I-R-A, Fira, Ia. I think that was it. I think that's what we did on Santorini. We went to a black beach. It wasn't really sand. It was more like kind of pebble, like finer than gravel, but not as fine as sand. We were there. And the next day we went to, did we go anyplace else? And then we went back to Croatia, and we went to Zadar, Croatia. And I don't know if that was all of it, but we cruised around through the Greek Isles there. And anyway, that's what I'm remembering right offhand without getting out my journal. And anyway, it was hot. It was nice and hot. But it was a wonderful trip. Oh, there's a little piece of hair stuck in the watercolor. What time is it? Oh, I need to hurry up and get done here, because Because we got stuff we got to do today on my birthday. Yeah. Got things to do. And let's see. This may not look like your idea of a balloon, but you know what? It's what we got today. It's what I got in me. Okay, and so there we have that. And so now what I'm thinking could happen is we could take this and eat, and it will kind of I'll keep one section of these, probably this one, so I have the strip of the watercolors, the swatches maybe, and then maybe cut the rest of these up and make bookmarks out of them or something. I don't know what we'll do with them. I don't know, might not do anything at all with it. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Kelly. Hi, Kel. It's your granddaughter's birthday too. Oh, and she's 14. Happy birthday to your granddaughter. Bye, Barbara. Things to do, places to go, people to see. Black sand in Santorini because of the volcano. Yes, it was beautiful. It really was. Yeah, Athens was, whoo, it was hot. Whoo, it was hot, hot, hot. We tried to go to the Acropolis, and some of us went to the Acropolis, some of us didn't, because my body would not deal. I mean, I went as high as I could go, and then I went, nope, I'm out. It's too hot. It's just too, my body just wasn't handling it. Anyway, that is that. Thank you guys so much for being here. I will be back Monday night, 7 Eastern, Monday night. And I don't know what we'll do, but we'll do something. So until then, as always, remember to get creative today, because you know it's easy. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now, everybody. Thanks for being here.